guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having an amazing day as always. I just got through recording a video where we talked about um, how to start telling a new story. So if you've been kind of watching my previous few videos, they've been a lot about how to not let the past influence you when it comes to creating or manifesting your new reality. So, when you want to create something new or have a new experience, manifest something in particular, oftentimes what keeps us stuck, putting it in quotation marks because we're never actually stuck. It's all just us and our own beliefs and everything like that. But oftentimes we feel stuck because what's happening is we're dragging the past along with us. We're telling the same old story. We're carrying around the same old identity. We're having the same beliefs about ourselves and about our circumstances. And so what I've been talking about a lot is like how to really relinquish that and how to really be present in each now moment and really see the now moment for what it is as this like opportunity to really create from limitless possibilities and how to really allow yourself to move forward in the now moment, from these limitless possibilities. So anyways, in the last video, we were talking a lot about how, just kind of starting to tell a new story and how that can sometimes feel uncomfortable. Like it can sometimes feel like it feels weird to just start telling a new story about yourself when you've been dragging around the old story for so long and you've really believed like that's who you are. And so I wanted today to just in this video talk a bit more about like, okay, practically, what does this look like? Like, how do I actually do this in my day-to-day life? I don't know about you guys. For me, like when it comes to this type of content, like I love hearing these types of messages. I love these types of videos. But for me, the one thing that I often wish I had more of is like these practical kind of takeaways where, okay, I hear this amazing thing and like I agree with the concept and it feels really good and I know that it's true. I can feel it resonating, but then it's like, okay, but then realistically, like in my life, how do I actually like live that? Like how do I actually do that? So that's what this video is. It's like, okay, we're going to go back to the example we talked about in the last two videos, which is let's say that you're somebody who for the last 10 years, you feel like you haven't really accomplished much in your business. Okay. And so the story you've kind of been dragging around is that you're, kind of a failure at business and it doesn't feel very good. And you feel like you kind of failed yourself and you feel embarrassed and you feel ashamed and you feel frustrated and you feel discouraged and you kind of look around and it feels like you're like this victim and like, why is this happening? And why isn't anything going right for me? And like all this stuff. Okay. So that's how you feel. That's what you perceive. And it feels really real because you're looking back at the past and like, that's what happened, right? In your mind, you're like, well, this is it. So like I said, go back and watch the last two videos because we talked a lot about how to like disconnect from that and to stop making it feel so like real and so present in this now moment. Because when the past feels so real and so present, it's like, it's hard to really tune into what's available to you in this now moment. And it's hard to start to really harness the power of the now moment, which is that you can create anything, you can change anything, you can be anything, you can identify as anything, and you can start to create something new. So, like I said, we talked about, okay, so that's your story. Let's say that what I just described, that's the story. Okay. So now it's time to start telling a new story. And I gave kind of some examples in the previous video, but like, let's say your new story. Okay. What feels good to you? What feels good to me would be to say, I am wildly successful at my business. Business is booming, clients and just new business is flowing in. It's so abundant. There's all these synchronicities. There's so many serendipitous meetings where I'm networking, I'm meeting the right people. All of a sudden, people are offering to do things for me. I'm so supported. I'm finding all the right connections. Everything feels so abundant and work doesn't even feel like work. It's just so fun. It's like one thing unfolds after the next. There's no struggle. There's no suffering. It's like money's flowing in, work's flowing in. I'm inspired. I'm creative. I feel balanced in my work life, in my home life. It all just kind of melds together in this beautiful way. And okay, that's your new story. Okay. So now here's the practical steps. So first of all, step one, get really clear on what is the story you want to tell? So I just gave an example of a story you might want to tell, right? And it doesn't have to be that long. That's just an example. You can make it really short and sweet to the point, or you could make it longer. You can go on a full rampage on it. But first things first is identify what is the new story. And the way you identify that is just by asking yourself, how do I want to feel? Like in my ideal situation, like when I tune into my heart's desires, what is it that I would want? And so get clear on that because it's going to be different for everybody. And maybe what I just said does sound good to you, but like don't just think about this in terms of business. Apply this to anything in your life, your relationships, your health, your body, your appearance, your living situation, your day-to-day routine, your like whatever, okay? Your relationship with your kids, with your family, your relationship with your boss, travel, I don't know, apply it to anything, okay? But identify what is it that feels good to me. And I always get really excited talking about the idea that like really make it unique to you because I think the really cool thing is that we could all want similar things, but yet the way we'd want them to unfold is so unique to us. Like, this idea that like, what does it mean to be wealthy and how we could all want to be wealthy, but what that would look like would be so different for someone that might mean living right in the heart of a big bustling city. For another person that may mean like living in a huge farmhouse in the countryside. For another, it might mean living on the top of a mountain somewhere. Like it's just, I really love how each of us has our own unique things that really call to us. And so when you're creating your new story, make sure it really calls to you. Like it's not just something that like, well, this is what it's supposed to look like. Or like ask yourself really like, why do I want this thing? Is it just because this is what I'm told that I'm supposed to want? Like get clear on what is it that's like what calls to you? What feels good to you? Is it my business is so successful and I only have to work, 4 hours a week? Is that it? Like, why would you don't half-ass the news story, basically is what I'm saying. Full-ass the news story. Be real with yourself about what you want the story to be. And more than anything is really feel it. So yeah, come up with the details. Think about what you really want the news story to be, but then like really make sure like it evokes the feeling. Like, how does that feel? It's exciting. You really believe it. Like it feels like, yes, I am wildly successful. Like I am killing it at this business. Everything's working out for me. It's easy for me. It's effortless for me. It's exciting for me. It's fun for me. And I think like when creating the story too, it's like, go like color outside of the lines, essentially. If I were to color outside of the lines, it's like so many people don't even like fully let themselves dream what they really want to dream. It's like, are you even imagining that it could be easy? I feel like so many of us just think like, well, it's work, so it has to be hard. Well, is that what you want though? Or do you want it to be easy? Oh, okay. We all think, okay, you have to work a certain amount of hours, but is that what you want though? Like I'm saying, color outside the lines, whole ass this new story. Okay. Really let yourself go there. So this is step one, is like determine your new story. Okay. And then just start practicing it to yourself. And again, it's not like some really like set script you have to like read off of every time. I mean, sure, if you're the type of person that likes to journal it out and script it, you could script it out every single day. You could read it back to yourself every morning. You could do it like that. What I personally like to do is I'm like a less structured type of person when it comes to this stuff. So I might have structure in that like, okay, every morning I'm going to wake up and in my morning meditation, I'm going to like repeat this story to myself at least a couple times, but I'm okay with if it changes a little bit. I don't need it to say the exact words every time. I just kind of like feel into it and let it flow. That's how I do it. But if you like to have it journaled, written out, like I said, you could read it to yourself. Sometimes what I like to do is go in front of a mirror and look at myself in my eyes and say this to myself and let myself really feel it that way. I think that's a really powerful way to do it because a lot of us are uncomfortable looking ourselves in our eyes and talking to ourselves. So I think that this is a good practice to do to get more comfortable with that. And then too, because it's like I think like when you're locking eyes with yourself and telling this story, it's like creating even more powerful, what's the word? Like an even more powerful new neural pathway in your brain where it's like, okay, this is really getting wired in there. So that's kind of step two is like, okay, find your routine with it. So step one, you've created your story. And then step two, find your routine with it. Like say it to yourself. I really recommend doing it first thing in the morning. Start saying it to yourself first thing in the morning, and you can choose how you want to do that. Is it in a meditation? Is it in the mirror? Are you saying it out loud? Is it in your head? Are you writing it down? Are you reading it back to yourself? Find what works for you. Maybe it's multiple of those things, switch it up and just say it to yourself a couple times until you really feel it, until you can really feel it. And like I said, it it might feel uncomfortable at first. It might feel like, oh, this is not like what I'm used to, or this isn't real, or you might have doubts come in, but I'm telling you guys, push through the doubts, push through any part of you that wants to say this is weird, this doesn't work, I'm lying to myself. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, because I promise you there will come a day where all of a sudden it doesn't feel like a lie anymore, and like it starts to feel good and you enjoy doing it and it's fun doing it, but you just have to kind of get over the hump and just remember back to times in your life where you've tried new things and they've been uncomfortable, but then you've persisted and it was fun or it was enjoyable, or, you know, I have so many memories of being a kid and like not wanting to go to summer camp, and then, you know, getting there, and by like the second or third day I had all these new friends and I was loving it and I was begging my parents to let me go back for the whole summer. It's that same thing. It's like, just get over the hump, okay? Because you're going to like it and it's going to feel good. Second one. All right, so first and second. Sorry, I'm losing my place here. So like I said, you've got your story, you're finding your rhythm with it, you're saying it to yourself. And then the third thing is just being consistent. So practically what this looks like is like on a personal level, like I said, I like to do this in the morning. Sometimes I do it in the mirror. Sometimes I do it in my meditations. And then be consistent, meaning find other times throughout the day where you can just repeat this to yourself. Have little moments where you're repeating it to yourself. Again, it doesn't need to be a full rampage, but even just like a little snippet of it, even just I'm wildly successful, just like throughout the day, randomly, just like pop that in your mind. Or like you're driving in the car and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so amazed at all the abundance coming in through my business. Like, wow, this is amazing. This is so exciting. Okay, bam, you just popped it in there. Okay, you're in the shower and you're thinking, oh, I'm so excited. I just love my business. I love working in my business. I love every single day in my business. Just bam. Okay, there you go. So find little moments throughout the day to just kind of like pop it in there. And you don't, like I said, you don't have to go into this full long thing, but just find little moments where you're just reinforcing that new story. You're reinforcing that new story. You're reinforcing that new story. And then I would end the day with, again, going into it again, telling it again, just getting yourself comfortable with it. And then along with the consistency piece is like, keep going every single day. Like this is something that, I mean, to be honest, you guys, there's really no excuse for why you couldn't do this every single day, because even if you're busy and you have stuff to do, there's always moments where you're like in the shower, or you might be driving in the car or on some sort of transportation, or you're walking somewhere, or you're doing laundry, or you're cooking, and you have little moments of time where you're just kind of like, there's not really many thoughts going on, or maybe your mind would usually be racing about something else. Fill your mind in those moments with this story. There's really no excuse, because it's like, it's not like you have to go out and do something. It's like you just have to have the discipline and the persistence to keep practicing the story over and over again, and getting yourself into that feeling, and really coming into, again, going back and watching those previous two videos where you really start to get the hang of like coming into the now moment, because the story is so much powerful when you're really present with it and you're not just like, you know, telling the story, saying the affirmation, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no. I'm actually like, I'm recognizing that like in this moment, the past doesn't exist. And I'm telling this story. This is what I'm choosing. This is who I am. This is what I am. And then you just know it. You just know it. You keep telling it. You keep affirming it. This is your story. You keep telling it to yourself over and over again. So these are my practical steps for how to actually begin to do this in your reality, how to actually make this a morning routine, make this an evening routine, make this part of your daily, you know, practices just as you go throughout your day, so that, okay, this is how you actually start to tell a new story and to shift your identity. Because maybe in the past you weren't telling yourself I'm wildly successful, right? I'm assuming you weren't. And so this is not just you telling a story of what you want to have and what you want to achieve. It's you telling the story of who you are, Who are you? I am wildly successful. I am abundant. I am amazing at what I do. Like, start telling the story of who you are and how life is going for you as that version of you. All right, we're going to end it here. I hope that all made sense. Let me know in the comments below what resonated for you. How are you going to start putting this into practice? I would love to hear like how, or even little snippets, like what's the new story you're going to start telling yourself? Let me know down below in the comments. That's another good way of you reaffirming it. Yeah, so be sure to like this video, comment down below if something resonated with you or if you have any questions, subscribe to the channel, and then down below you're also going to find all the helpful links if you want to work with me further. You can join the 14-day free trial of the membership. This is where this is my monthly subscription platform. So it's a living library of content, guided meditations, affirmations, journal prompts, uploads of previous workshops, master classes. There are live calls every single month, including a group energy healing call, including an additional group live call where it's kind of like a free-for-all with the topic. We go on different themes. It goes intuitively guided. We do group Q&A. There's also sometimes bonus live calls and bonus content that's uploaded. There's a monthly energy forecast for each month. I tune into the energy for that month and give you guys like an intuitively guided reading for like, what are the themes? What are some tips? How can you work with the energy of this month to really help build momentum towards your manifestations? And then there's also a group forum where you can connect with me. You can connect with other members. You can ask your questions. You can share your experiences. It's a really great place to be. So like I said, the link is down below. There's a 14-day free trial. You can check it out. And then there's also links to work with me one-on-one. So there's links to a single one-on-one session, a package of 4 sessions. And then there's also the link to apply for my longer term, higher level one-on-one program. So this is for those of you who want to work with me in a higher level space, a longer term basis, and who really want that like deeper level support, healing, transformation, energy work, etc. So check those links out down below. And other than that, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.